Hello guys! Today we are going to judge who is better, Elytra Macing, Mace PvP or End Crystal PvP. And make sure to like and subscribe and click the thumb button so you don't miss any more videos. Now this is only my opinion. I've most of the time only trained Mace PvP. But yeah, so in the comments, even if they're not, but don't get mad at me by my opinion while judging. But by the way, what Mace PvP and End Crystal PvP is that Mace PvP you gotta get many new ways to go as up as you can, or fast too, because the higher you go with a mace, the more damage you do. And with End Crystal PvP, you focus on bombs exploding your enemies. So yeah, basically like that. You also usually use respawn anchors for what is called Mace Crystal PvP. But if we would say who would win in a fight, if there's a Mace PvP with only wind charges, then most of the time the End Crystal PvP would win. They can play some car boots or even if they're not that skilled, use a shield. And then you can just explode it while you're going down. But if you're a Elytra Macer, then it gets very hard for the Crystal PvPer because he will always go to the air. And Crystal PvP is mostly for ground PvP because you can't place crystals in the air, of course. But so at least if you have fast reaction time, if the End Crystal PvPer has fast reaction time while fighting the Mace PvPer, then it gets a little bit easier because a Mace PvPer can fly out of nowhere, just boom, and just fly down to you. And if you can see that coming, you're dead. At least popping a totem. So it depends actually. So that's the reason why I'm making this video. But any recommendations while you're doing one of these? Maybe sometimes you can have feather varling on your boots for Mace PvP, but you would say, oh Alex, but it will just completely make you super slow. But while having feather falling boots don't fall as much as you think, so you take a little bit, not that much fall damage. And when you have this, I prefer using totems than shields, because imagine you just Elytra Macing from higher than Eiffel Tower, and then you just go there and boom, you're dead. Imagine if you fail that. So it's really risky. But with an totem, you don't always die. So that's some recommendations by the Mace PvP. I usually, when you're Mace PvP, you need an Elytra, mostly wind charges, an Elytra with fireworks, and even maybe a Riptide Trident if you're skilled enough. So when it's raining, you can take this Riptide Trident and fly up in the air very high if you have Riptide 3, and then they will take much more damage, maybe even one-shotting a Warden. So there are 3 things you can use Mace PvP with. So it's wind charges 1, Elytra 2, and with chestplate of course, and then Riptide 3, but only sometimes. But now with End Crystal PvP, you of course need blast protection, or else you'll blow up yourself sometimes, maybe using a respawn anchor like this, or even use fire protection maybe when you're respawn anchoring, because of this fire here, you're maybe gonna burn up to death. And then anything else, I really prefer to use your whole inventory with golden apples or with totems, because you're gonna blow up many totems. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty hard. But now, judging by, of course, the best thing is how they use it. But best way of using Mace is, if you're a beginner with Mace PvP, then you gotta start with wind charges. Maybe start with hoglins. Maybe I used to start with them because they're very big, and then you can train probably, and then take like skinnier mobs, or even take these bots, but I don't know how to do it, so yeah. And then you can probably move up with Riptide macing. But the thing I thought you did Riptide macing back then, you flied up and then fly down, which is a big mistake sometimes when you're a beginner. If you hurl down with a Riptide Trident, you'll go very, very, very fast. So yeah, maybe you'll hit yourself, but I usually prefer just hurl up and then just fall down to the Mace. And then maybe if you miss him, maybe you can just take it, maybe just use a water bucket or some cobwebs, or even some powdered snow in some situations. And when you've got better than that, it comes the hardest Mace PvP, aka Elytra macing, which I've been training with for not such a long time, but like, it's very hard how to do it. You fly up, take your netherite chestplate, go look down. If you're a better player, when you've done this, it's gonna be like this. You gotta click the button where you walk and run. Click it like that, and then before doing that, you're gonna be in Elytra mode, which is basically like that. But we don't want that, because when we do that, you're not gonna fly up as high with, of course, wind burst. Then like this. So you see the difference? You fly much higher. So that's why exactly before you fall down, you take off the Elytra and then the Mace, so you fly up a lot. And now going back to the End Crystal PvP, recommendations when to start. It's called End Crystal PvP, so I think you should start with End Crystals before respawn anchors. They get a little bit harder because you gotta learn how to go so like this and this, so not blowing up yourself and doing it that fast, because it's much faster to do End Crystal, you see. So you should better begin with End Crystal. It's just my opinion, not any hate. And then you gotta really practice how fast you can go, you can click. RIP, bedrock players like me, it's gonna be really, really hard. So it's pretty hard. And then we come to the respawn anchors. Before anchoring, you place your anchor. Oh, by the way, how do you do anchor? So you always gotta have obsidian in the bottom. You place the End Crystal and you blow it up. You can place it more times. So yeah. But with anchor PvP or anchoring, you gotta place the anchor. Place this glowstone here. So not risking blowing up yourself there. You get some knockback. But when you do this, you get less knockback. Which makes it slower. And then when you gotta click a lot of times. It's basically a nightmare for bedrock players. And then that's basically the PvP. But if you're going in a one-on-one fight, let's say the Mace PvP starts, it goes down unexpectedly, but maybe on the way falling down, it gets blown up. We say that. Or anchored. Like that. But the main weakness with Mace PvP which almost everyone can use for PvP. All of this is use a sapling, any source of sapling, take that, and where is it? Bone meal. I'll explain why. While using bone meal, the tree will grow. Exactly when they're falling down, they'll be like this and fall into their death. They can still have a totem, but then when they pop the totem, which is very great, you can go out and crystal them. But the bad thing about end crystalling, you can just be in the air or just be a lot. Be in the air like Mace PvP. You can also be in the air having a bow example. Or yeah, so when the most weakness of end crystalling is when you also have blast protection. They don't do as much damage as of course you do without blast protection. So yeah. But in my opinion, I prefer Mace PvP because you're always up in the air. There are many great Mace PvPers, like example Wembu, Marlow, and these. But End Crystal PvPers, they're like It's, aka It's Real Me. And then we got Marlow, of course. And yeah, so those are basically the best PvPers. And comment down below if I've done any mistakes and maybe change them for another video, maybe with another comparison. Guys, I think I should end this video here. I hope you guys had fun on this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and see you later, guys. See ya!